My garden planner says it best right here on the June page. Harvest at the beginning of the month, then shift the garden into survival mode. That's June. It's a two-part month. The beginning, you're still harvesting tomatoes, beans, corn, squash. The second half, the heat takes over and the garden asks something different of you. It asks you to do less. And that is harder than it sounds. So today I'm going to talk about what I stopped doing in June, why I stopped doing it, and what that looks like in my garden right now. Yesterday, I walked out to my garden and saw a wilted squash plant and I immediately thought, I need to water. I pulled back the mulch. The soil was hydrated. I know it doesn't need water, but those wilted leaves still stress me out. Wilting doesn't always mean a plant needs water. In extreme heat, plants wilt to protect themselves. It's the plant conserving moisture. Before you water, pull back the mulch and check the soil. If it's hydrated a few inches down, the plant is probably fine. Panic watering, adding water on top of an already hydrated soil can cause more problems than it solves. Water-logged roots in summer heat can cause root rot. What I try to do instead, water deeply and consistently on a schedule. Check the soil before adding more and trust the mulch to do its job. Deep, infrequent watering creates a root system that can better handle the heat. Reactive watering every time something droops doesn't. If you don't know how to adjust your irrigation timer, learn how. You're going to water more frequently in June than you will at any other time of the year. You need to know how to adjust it and change for this season. When I see sun-damaged citrus leaves, my first impulse, prune them off. I love a beautiful green tree, but those damaged leaves are protecting the leaves behind them. When you cut them, you expose new growth to direct sun, and that new growth wasn't gradually exposed the way the damaged leaves were, so it burns faster. A pruning cut is also asking the plant to push out new leaves in extreme heat. That new growth is vulnerable. It will get damaged too. And you've just weakened a plant that already survives on the edge of what's considered normal here. So in June, put the pruners away. Plants start to slow down in June. Growth stalls, leaves yellow, and the instinct is to reach for fertilizer. Fix the problem, feed the plant, and make it grow. Turn the leaves green. Don't. Some of that yellowing has to do with our alkaline soil and alkaline water, a real issue here in the low desert. But fertilizer isn't going to fix it. In extreme heat and dry weather, plants slow down. That's not a nutrient deficiency. It's just hot. The worm castings and compost you worked into your beds at the beginning of the season are still there, still doing their job. That's enough. Fertilizer tells a plant to grow. New growth in June is tender and vulnerable, exactly what you don't want. Pushing new growth in extreme heat weakens an already struggling plant. In the worst case, it kills it. I just taught 3 summer gardening classes in 4 days, and the same question kept coming up during each one. Should I pull out this plant? What do I do with my tomatoes? My cucumber hasn't produced anything. Should I take it out? What about my peppers? Do I keep them in? The reason these questions are hard is that you might not always know which plants are annuals and which are perennial here in the low desert. Cucumbers, bush beans, and pole beans are annuals. When they decline, they're done. There's no bringing them back. These cucumber plants didn't produce a single cucumber, but it's getting hot and they're not going to. They're done. On the other hand, I've been harvesting off this Armenian cucumber for a few weeks and it's just getting started. It should keep giving me harvests all the way through the heat. Look at your bush and pole beans right now. Those thin leaves were never built for this heat. When they start yellowing and looking tired, they're finished. Let them go. Compare that to asparagus beans. Waxy leaves built for heat. Mine are thriving right now. Same garden, same conditions, completely different result. Peppers and eggplant can be perennial here. If your peppers are healthy, keep them. They'll slow down in the heat and come back strong in the fall. Same with eggplant. Tomatoes can technically be perennials here too. This mild winter meant some of mine lasted way longer than usual. But tomatoes are also the most susceptible to disease under stress. My Roma tomatoes from last August have given me a freezer full of fruit. That plant is tired, and so am I. I'm harvesting the remaining fruit, pulling the plants, and giving the crops like watermelon in this bed room to grow. I also have spring planted tomatoes in other areas of my garden that I'll try to keep alive. Evaluate your own tomatoes. If they're still healthy, keep them. Keep them alive over the summer and they'll give you earlier harvests in the fall. If they don't make it, we'll plant again with the monsoons. You can see the same thing in the flowers. My Canterbury Bells, a cool season hardy annual, has crispy edges. It gave me a beautiful spring with so many beautiful blooms. And now it's starting to finish up. I'm gonna harvest as long as I can, and then I'll put a cover crop in this bed. Right next to it, my zinnias are just getting going. Zinnias are native to Mexico and built for the heat. Walk through your garden and evaluate the plants. Some things are just finishing, some things are just beginning. If a plant is struggling or isn't built for the heat, it's okay to let it go. Hobbs is getting old. He'll be 13 this summer. I've always bought the best dry dog food for him, but I wanted to try something even better. I tried frozen ones before and they were too expensive and time-consuming. Spot and Tango seemed like a good alternative. And setting it up was easy. The first few days we had to transition and give him both types of dog food. He ate the Spot and Tango and left his old dog food there. He was not interested. He used to eat at some point during the day, but now he waits for us to put it in his bowl and eats it as soon as we put it in. I like that it comes to the door, it's convenient and simple. We want Hobbs to live as long as he can and like what he eats. Unkibble is cooked at low temperatures, which preserves nearly 99% of flavor, aroma, and nutrients. Every single ingredient is written right on the front of the bag. It comes with a custom scoop sized for your dog's ideal calorie intake. Save 50% off with code GARDEN50. If your pup doesn't like it, you can get your money back. The outdoor planting list in the June planner is the shortest list in the whole planner. That's not a mistake. Almost everything you'd want to plant either won't establish well in this heat or will struggle before it has a chance to get going. June is not a planting month for most things. If you do plant this month, yard-long beans, okra, Armenian cucumbers, sweet potato slips, watermelon, just know that these plants are going to work harder than they would have to get established if you'd planted them earlier or you waited for some monsoon humidity. If you don't have to plant this month, don't. The exception is cover crops. If you have empty beds, tuck something in to keep the soil alive. Cowpeas and sun hemp are my favorites. You don't have to garden all summer, but you do need to keep your soil alive. A heat-loving cover crop does that with almost no effort on your part, and the soil stays alive through summer and it's ready for you when the temperatures cool in the fall. June starts with harvest baskets and counters full of produce. Appreciate that. Take pictures, share it with your neighbors. That's the payoff for everything you planted and tended this spring. Then the heat hits and the garden changes. Give some plants permission to be done. They earned it. Do less. Trust the season. Let the garden tell you what it needs. The full June planting and task lists are in the planner. The link's in the description. Let me know what's growing in your garden right now.